if you like the original Halloween movie, you'll like this new sequel, like 40 something years later or whatever, because it's basically it's a spiritual successor to the original. You know, it's lean, it's mean. There's not too much extraneous stuff. It just gets right to the point. It's a straight up slasher flick, and that's it. I mean, if you like those kinds of movies, those slasher kinds of horror movies, Halloween, this new one in 2018, it's just like the other one in terms of the similar style of movie. Now, and I enjoyed it too, and I would recommend it if you like those kinds of films. However, I did think the ending was a little bit strange, and I'll talk about that later. Like, I don't want to give too much away. This is a non spoiler review, but I will address that later. But first, the plot is it's been several years since the original Haddonfield murders, where Michael Myers tried to kill his sister, Laurie Strode, played by Jamie Lee Curtis, who returns in this one. And, a lot of people get killed and other people get killed in the process. And now, jumping here later, he escapes from, captivity in the mental institution and starts killing people again and crosses paths with his sister. And since it's so far, in the future, she has her own family now. She has a daughter and a granddaughter, and they get mixed up in things and everything. So it's kind of like it's a family drama. Well, it's not really. It is part family drama, but this is mainly a slasher flick. And to explain, before the movie gets into the killing and stuff, it does set things up. Laurie Strode's relationship with her family, how what happened to her, way back when Michael Myers tried to kill her the first time, how that has affected her life, mostly in a negative way. She's definitely tougher and more prepared and, ready to handle, bad situations, bad physical confrontations. But spending years preparing for that has caused Laurie's relationship, focusing so much on that. She hasn't focused as much on being like a traditional kind of mother to her daughter and, being a traditional kind of, member of her family. And so, even though Laurie, I guess, is stronger physically because of what happened, mentally and emotionally and psychologically, she still, hasn't gotten over it. And, she has panic attacks, she has breakdowns. Jamie Lee Curtis, I mean, a movie like this, a slasher movie, usually all the acting is good, but the actors usually aren't required to do much but scream and run around. And the one person in this movie who has to do more than that, I feel, or most of, has to do a lot of the heavy lifting outside of that, is Jamie Lee Curtis, showing someone who I guess has spent decades in a constant, state of PTSD, for lack of a better way for me to explain it. I'm not like an expert psychiatrist or therapist, but Laurie Strode is still stuck in the same kind of place mentally, and she hasn't really gotten out of it. And Jamie Lee Curtis does a good job of portraying a woman like that. Now, that's all in the first, part of the movie, setting up who these people are, their relationships to each other. Right after that, the movie gets right to it. As soon as Michael escapes from his captivity, he goes and does what you expect Michael Myers to do in a Halloween movie and start killing people all over the place. Now, and this, you expect this to happen in a Halloween movie, in horror movies in general of this type. But also a bad thing that this movie has, that many other horror movies do have too, is in order for Michael Myers to be able to kill a lot of people, you have some characters doing stupid things, and there are police officers in this movie who don't seem very competent. But if you've seen horror movies, you're kind of used to all that, and you can just file it away in your head. Now, the ending of the movie, I felt the movie ended very abruptly. It's like it seemed to end and there was still more to do, and I was like, that's it? Like, that's how the movie ended? I'm not going to give away what the ending is or what happened, but it seemed like there was more, movie to see, or should have been, before the movie just abruptly, like, ends. Like, that's it? And I was sitting there waiting for, like, an end credit scene or something, and there wasn't one, and I was really like, wow, that's it. So, I will say that Halloween kind of, it seemed like there was more that should have been, done, like a bigger finale, but, the movie just ends right there. Now, this movie's probably going to do well financially and critically. It's getting good reviews, and I think it's going to have a good opening weekend. And so if it makes a lot of money, I'm sure they'll make a sequel. But this new phase, this new era of Halloween movies might face the same dilemma the old ones faced, I think, is like, how many times can you tell the same story over and over again? Michael Myers escapes or turns up again and starts killing people until he's stopped or seems to be stopped. And then, the movie ends, and then, the next Halloween movie happens. In the first, series of 4 or 5 Halloween movies, People got tired of that over the years because I guess the box office went down and they eventually, would have to reboot years later. So this movie, this new era of the Halloween franchise might face the same problem. It's like, how many times can you tell the same story and keep the audience interested in the same exact thing over and over again? I don't know. We'll see. Maybe they'll be able to do it. I'm not saying they can't, but I don't see, since this movie is exactly like the first one in terms of the tone and the spirit of it, it might have, the first one same problems when it comes to longevity and ability to sustain a franchise. But, focusing on the here and now, this new Halloween movie is a good slasher flick, and I recommend it. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please like it on YouTube and subscribe to the channel because I appreciate your viewership, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye!